Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett with Adoornments Decor. We're going to be painting a garden gnome door hanger in just a moment. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This is the shape we're going to be painting. There are lots of ways you could do this. So it's got a Mr. and Mrs. Gnome on it. It could be a grandpa and a grandma, or a mama and a papa, however you want to do it. And then it's got little tulips here, little tulip flowers. And I'm thinking that it would be really great for Mother's Day because, or like for a grandma for Mother's Day, because you could put Papa and Grandma's little gnomes or little blooms or something, and you could put the names of the kids on the tulips. Wouldn't that be fun? And just to let you know, I am using all Decor Americana matte acrylic paints. This one is Sea Breeze. It's going to be the background color for my gnome garden, but I'm going to lighten it up quite a bit because this is pretty bright for a sky color. So we're going to mix some white with it. But to talk to you about Tribe, many of you guys know that I took the Tribe course 2 years ago, and it taught me everything that I needed to know about running a membership group. And that's how I learned how to do the Painters Clubhouse membership group. I learned a lot from the Tribe course. It's a pretty expensive course though, I will warn you. It's not for somebody just starting out in business necessarily. It's for somebody who like maybe already has a business and you're wanting to add recurring revenue to your business through a membership, or maybe a subscription box, or like doing virtual paint parties, things like that. It's not only for painters though. If you own any sort of business or have any sort of service that you offer and you want to figure out how to add recurring revenue to your business, that is who this is for. It's a course taught by Stu McLaren. I took it 2 years ago. And I am a proud affiliate for it. So if any of you do decide to sign up for it, I would love it if you sent me a message over on Instagram or something and asked me for my affiliate link. Maybe ask some questions. I can help you out, help you figure out if it's the right thing for you. But the Tribe course is only offered once a year, and it's usually in the springtime. And you'll learn everything you need to know. But I added quite a bit of white to this Sea Breeze color to lighten it up. And this is going to be our background color for our sky. And I'm kind of just messily painting it on here. I've gotten it on the flowers and stuff, but I'm not really worried about that because I believe that the colors that I use for the flowers will cover right back up. So it's almost just easier just to put it on there and keep moving. All right, let's dry this and do a second coat real quick. Let's put a quick second coat on here. This paint, I'm going to add just a tad bit of water to it for my second coat. That way it'll go a little further because I didn't quite mix up enough of it to do two really good second coats, or 2 coats. I think this would be a lovely Mother's Day gift for someone, or for a grandma for Mother's Day. And you could put, like, you could write with like a paint pen or a Sharpie the kids' names on each of the little flowers. It would be so sweet. We need to think of something like wording wise to put up at the top. I don't want to put grandma and grandpa or anything like that because we're going to sell this one as a painted door hanger in the shop, and they're not going to be customizable. So it needs to be something that could be given to anyone, and it could be universal. So y'all can help me think of some wording that we could put up at the top. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Like, I thought about just putting welcome, but that seems kind of generic. I want to put something that alludes to the fact that these are like grandkids or kids and like little blossoms or something. I don't know. Okay, let's do the little hats and their clothing. I want them to match. They're going to wear matching clothes. I'm kind of thinking, I don't want to do anything teal because then it'll blend in with this. I thought about some coral maybe. Maybe their little shirts could be coral with maybe some stripes or something. And then their little hats, I don't know, it might be fun if we did like a navy color. I don't know. Navy and coral kind of go together, and they go really well with teal. So I'm going to make my own navy because I need to buy some more paint and I don't have the right color. So I'm taking some bright blue and adding just a few drops of black. You guys are learning all about color mixing lately from me because I've been running out of some of my favorite paint colors, and so we've been having to do some mixing to get what we want, which that's okay. We're being frugal. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm using a flat tip brush, and we're just gonna put this navy that I made on the little hats, and then we may do the coral on their clothing. Have you guys done much painting lately? What have you been painting? What's popular right now? Gnomes still seem to be quite popular. Lemons seem to be very popular. What else have I seen lots of? Lots of farm animals. Since I did my floral cow and floral pig, you guys have been painting lots of floral farm animals. I like this color of navy that I made. It's a pretty color. I just mixed primary blue and black. Hang on, I'm gonna get quiet for a second while I get this nice and straight, this little line here. There we go. Much better. We'll let that dry for a second while we decide if we need a second coat. Beverly just finished the lemon challenge door hanger. Awesome. Have any of you guys painted the birthday cake door hanger that's hanging up behind me? If you guys didn't know this, and I did put this in the link, you can go and download our app for free in the App Store. And you can grab this birthday cake template for free from the app. That's the only way you can get it, is in the app. So I have the link on there for the Apple Store and for Android Store, depending on which kind of phone or device you have. But you'll just need to grab the birthday template in there for free if you want to get it. I think we've given away lots of them so far, and it'll be free in there no matter whether you're watching this video today or a month from now. It'll always be free in the app. But be sure, if you download that app, to enable your notifications, because we'll be doing special deals and things just for people who have the app. And I have been sending out notifications that I'm going live through the app. How many hours a day do you spend on your business? Oh goodness, Teresa. It just depends. Yesterday, I didn't spend very many at all. I took a lot of time off yesterday but it was probably more like 4 hours or so. But some days I spend, all 8 hours. It just kind of depends. I spent a lot of time doing Zoom calls yesterday with my team and different people. It just really depends. I probably spend at least 40 hours a week though. But I got a lot going on in my business. I do a lot of different things. Between designing door hangers and teaching, going live with you guys, working with my team, planning blog posts, things like that. So I did share in my stories today about a pot. This color, by the way, is Coral Blush. I did share today in my stories about a podcast episode I was a guest of. And we're just going to paint right over the hair and just paint back over it later. About my business and how I got started with my business and how it grew and things like that. So if you want to hear that story, you can go and listen to that podcast episode. It's not my podcast. I was a guest on a podcast about memberships. And so it's very interesting. I enjoyed actually listening to it back because it's weird hearing yourself tell the story and kind of reflecting on your journey. And so I enjoyed listening back to it. But hopefully you guys get something out of it. Maybe it'll inspire you to grow your business like I have and make it and see what's possible, because I think a lot of people sometimes don't even realize the possibilities of what you can do with your business, especially if you start doing things online. And mine grew so organically. I didn't try really hard in the beginning to create what I created. I just did it organically because it was something I enjoyed doing. And then eventually, I started taking things like the Tribe course and things to learn more about doing an online business. And that's when it really took off. When I actually intentionally started trying even harder to grow it. Okay, so he doesn't have as much shirt showing because he's got a big old beard. And we also have to figure out what color we're going to paint their little noses. I'm thinking this sugared peach color, but maybe with a little bit more pink added to it. It's kind of a skin tone color. But let's add just a drop of the Coral Blush to it. Well, I probably don't even need to do that. I could probably just get some out of this side and mix it in. And that's probably too much. Okay, I think this is a little too pink for their nose, but we could do a second coat that's a little lighter because this is quite pink. I added too much coral. Too much coral to the sugared peach color, but that's okay. We can go back over it with a second coat because it'll probably need one anyways. Okay, yes, they're gonna have to have a second coat. They're getting even pinker after they've dried. They look like I get sunburned noses. So I'm just gonna take some of this sugared peach color here and paint right over the pink, and the pink can just show through the sugared peach. That's better. It's like they went out in the sun with their little Gnome noses and got sunburned. I just decided to dip in the bottle or the lid since I didn't need very much anyways. Ah! How did I get blue on my brush? Must have been in the cup or something. And since my water's not very clean. Okay, so this color is called Gray Sky. We're gonna do their little beards and braids, that color. What size brush do I want to use? Let's use this one. It's a flat tip brush, but it's a little bit smaller. I'm also dipping my brush in just a little bit of white here and there to kind of add a little bit. That way his beard doesn't look like a flat one color. We'll swirl some white into it too in a moment. Get a little bit of white. I think I'm going to paint it all gray first though. That'll make it easier just to do the swirls. This Gray Sky color covers really well. But yes, painting gets easier the more you do it, and you'll kind of figure some things out, and then it kind of, you don't even really have to think about it too much when you're doing some designs, unless you're doing something that's a little bit more challenging, and then sometimes it can be a little harder. But I always like to push myself and try something new every once in a while that'll kind of challenge me to step outside my comfort zone. And so you should do that too. All right, let me get some white, and then we're just gonna add some white in here so that his beard looks kind of curly. I'm trying not to blend it too much. I kind of wanted it to look swirled or tufted, but it's kind of hard not to blend it because once you keep doing multiple brush strokes, it starts to blend, but that looks pretty good. Oh, and let's get the gray and paint her little braids. She's gonna have gray braided hair. And that gray is covering up the coral just fine. So that was why I wanted to go ahead and just paint over her braids instead of trying to paint around them. Let's see, and then that's a bow at the bottom. We'll have to paint the bow a different color. You guys probably can't see it, but I still can. So that's the thing about these etched blanks that we sell in our shop. The design is laser etched in the surface of the door hanger. And so once you paint over it like I've done, you can still barely see the etched lines, and it makes it easy to go back and add, you know, the details that you need to add, and you don't have to draw anything on there. So let's dry that real quick. She's gonna need a second coat. I did yesterday for fun make a, you know, the painted farmhouse bead tassels things that Stacy Collins from Wilshire Collections, I shared her video on here yesterday or the day before about how to do painted wooden bead garlands. And so I created one, and I did black and white just like she did with the little buffalo plaid tassels, and it turned out so cute. And so that was my fun project for this week. Okay, let's get a smaller brush, and we're gonna paint the little bows on her. We might do them in the blue, that way they match. Or wait, we'll wait. We're gonna wait, because if I do polka dots on the hat, I might want to coordinate the polka dots with her bows. So let's paint his little shoes and do them in a brown color. Let's see. Where's the brown I want? Here we go. This one's called Burnt Sienna. It's kind of a reddish brown. I thought it might be a nice contrast to his hair. I'm gonna use the flat tip brush again, the smaller one. This will require a couple of coats because this burnt sienna has a lot of red in it, and red does not cover very well. Do y'all have any more suggestions for the wording that we could put at the top? Like I said, I want it to be kind of neutral so that it could be used for like Mother's Day or Grandmother's Day, or Grandmother's Day, or Mother's Day, or for a grandparent or something like that. I liked Evelyn's suggestion. She said Grand's Little Blessings, so maybe something on that line, along those lines. I don't know, but I was thinking you could put grandkids or kids' names on the tulips, so I would love some wording suggestions. I need to focus for just a second. Okay, so the hats, someone suggested doing polka dots. I kind of think I want to just, for him, maybe just lighten up that navy and do a lighter shade of blue. So I'm going to add some white to the navy. And then for her, I'm not sure yet. We might do something different on hers. What color polka dot should I do on her hat? We're going to do a lighter shade of blue on his. Should they match or should they be different? Okay, we're going to use little sponge pouncers. I sell some of these in my shop. They come in a set of 20 of these. You get 5 of the different sizes. So here's the different sizes. You got really large, medium, small, extra small. We're going to use the blue ones. But you can grab those in the shop if you need some sponge pouncers. They come in at, like I said, a set of 20. And so you get all of them for all the different sizes. All right, so we're going to do some polka dots going on and some polka dots kind of going off the edge. Just do a little bit of a twist when you do your dots. And don't start in one random spot. Work your way across the door hanger. I'm going to do one halfway on and halfway off here. And I'm using my napkin kind of as a guard so that it doesn't get off. That one looks a little weird. We may just have to, I don't know. Do a slight one there, slight one there, and then one over here. Okay, those need touching up a little bit. Let me get my paintbrush out. And we're gonna get a little bit of that color and just kind of go along the edge here to kind of straighten them up, because I used a paper towel. A piece of paper works better, but I didn't want to get up and grab anything. Okay, that one looks a little weird, but you know, I think once we get everything done, you won't even notice. Bunny says, can you explain can you explain it to me? Can you I still can't say it right. Can you explain your rule of 3 placement dots? Yes, I will explain that real quick. So, did you notice that I started here, and then when I got to do the next one, I did one here, so then I had 2 dots. So to do the 3rd dot, I created a triangle. So you could take like an invisible line and trace it between these 3 to create a triangle. So then for the next dot, we can do one here, and then you would be able to draw a triangle between those 3 dots. So then the next one, you could place it here and draw a triangle. Now where things got a little bit hairy scary was when I did one here, and that triangle is a little bit oddly shaped compared to the others. And then that one's a little too close. So I goofed up a little bit. I didn't follow my own rule well enough. But just keep placing, like drawing invisible triangles between your dots, and it should have perfect placement for your dots and keep them, you know, spaced evenly. And we may even use the same color. I may have to just make some more though, because I used it all up on him. So yeah, you should get good dots every time you do that. I guess I was talking and trying to make do with my paper towel, and I made a mess, and you know, sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. So I'm gonna make some more of this navy color, and then I'm gonna lighten it with the white so that they're kind of the same color here. We need some more white. Lots of color mixing going on these days. Her dots may not be the same exact color as his dots, but I think it'll be close enough that it'll be fine. It's kind of a cloudy blue. Okay, and then I'm going to use the this brush here. It's a flat tip brush also, but it's much smaller. So we'll just do some little hearts on her little hat. And so I'm going to use the same plan for the hearts that I would if I were doing polka dots to do the placement of the hearts. So I've got 2 hearts here, and you'd be able to draw an invisible line from this heart to those 2 hearts to make a triangle. And then I should have one here. And I'm also keeping all of my hearts turned the same direction. You could turn them different directions if you wanted to, but I don't want to overcomplicate things. So that's kind of cute. Okay, do another one down here, but this one's going to kind of be half on, half off, which is kind of hard to draw. So if you need to, get a pencil out and draw it. And then we would have one kind of just barely peeking out off over here. And let's see, we'll do one here, but it would probably just be the bottom of it showing. And then one over here. Just the bottom. And then I feel like we need one just partially showing over here. You can hear the birds a-chirping. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to stop while we're ahead before we place a weird heart somewhere it shouldn't be. Okay, we need to paint her little hair bows. So I think I am going to go ahead and do them. No, I'm not. No. I can't make up my mind, y'all, today. I'm like very wishy-washy. Let's go ahead and paint his shoes because I know they need a second coat. I might have to do them a completely different color because I don't want too much navy or blue going on, and I'm going to have to mix more navy if I do them navy. I'm not very good at fashion, so that's what the true problem is here, is I don't know what color to do their clothes and everything because I'm not good at fashion to begin with. All right, in the example photo, we had stripes on their little shirts too, so I'm thinking that I might want to do stripes but do them in a lighter shade of coral. So I'm going to mix some white in with the coral. And just do a real light shade of coral in stripes on their clothes. Polka dots and stripes go together like peanut butter and jelly. And it'd be easier if you use a ruler here to get nice straight stripes. So we'll do part of one here. That way it doesn't touch her hair. And then another one here. And I'm just letting the ruler be my guide. We'll use the width of the ruler also as our guide for how wide our stripes are going to be. So I'm going to do one on the top and one on the bottom. And I'm just using the width of my brush to do the stripes, and my brush is quite small. I've made a mess of my brush though and gotten a ton of paint on it. So when you lift up your brush though, you'll need to make sure you don't have any excess paint on there or you'll transfer it. I'm gonna have to straighten this one up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so using the width of my ruler, we're gonna lay it down again. I'm just gonna paint right over the top of the bows because we haven't painted those yet, thankfully. Makes things a little simpler. Pick it up. Wipe it off just in case. Lay it down again, and then she'll have another little stripe across the bottom. There we go. We could do stripes on him. They're not going to show up very well because he doesn't have as much clothing to show as she does. Oops, and I just got some on the boot. Let me get some brown and fix that real quick. There we go. We're going to start though, before we make up our mind about any of that, by painting the tulips white first so that whatever color we choose to use will cover well. So I'm just going to give them a base coat of white, and then we'll figure out what we want to do from there. if we should use one color or two colors. This would be a good one if you do craft shows and things, to go ahead and have painted up, and then you could just customize it at the craft show by putting whatever saying on it that they wanted. You could already have some little example sayings written down that they could choose from. You know, like Granny and Grandpa's little blessings or whatever. Gnome sweet gnome. There are so many gnome puns you could do. Just write them all down and then let the customer choose, and you could customize it there at the event. Whoop, I just got my arm in her stripes. I have to hold my arm up a little bit so I don't do that again. Do you do a base coat of white on all of your wood door hangers when you're using a light color? I do if I'm using yellow or orange or anything that I know, you know, has a track record for being kind of, doesn't cover very well. For example, this color, the sea breeze color, it is a light color, but it covers really well because it has a lot of like base coat of white already in the actual paint color. But once you've been painting for a little while, you kind of get to knowing your paint colors a little better, and you'll know and understand which colors don't cover as well as others, because you'll remember that you had to do multiple coats of that color. And just by trial and error, you'll kind of learn which ones kind of are opaque, or not opaque, transparent. They aren't as opaque, and they don't cover as well. And so then you kind of learn, okay, I need to put a base coat under those. And sometimes some colors, like for example, yellow, this yellow that I have covers really well. But if I want it to be extra bright, sometimes I will go ahead and do a coat of white underneath so that the color just pops and shows up even better. Because the wood underneath will dampen the color just a little bit. So not always, but sometimes I do. Just kind of depends on what I'm going for. Let me put one more coat of white, because this is drying pretty quickly as it is. Okay, that one's gonna need another coat. Okay, so let's dry this real quick. I think I've decided to paint all the tulips yellow. Okay, so this yellow is it's called a patio outdoor paint by Decor. I'm using it because I had it in my stash and I loved the color. It's called Sunshine Yellow. So we're going to use this for our flowers. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, hang on. Before we move forward, let me paint her little bows white so that I can then turn around and paint them yellow. We can go ahead and be letting that dry. Let me paint those white first. Then we'll add the yellow. I think the yellow will complement really well the navy and the coral. It'll just all coordinate really good together. And those, I'm gonna have to put one more coat of white too in a little bit. We'll let this dry and then do another coat, because you can still see the coral. And this Sunshine Yellow, it covers pretty well, but I don't know if it will cover the coral. So just to be safe, we'll do 2 coats of white. This yellow is so pretty with all of these other colors, don't you think? I think it's beautiful. So I'm planning on adding this one to the shop as a painted option, but it won't be customizable. Like, the idea is that if you bought it and wanted to customize the words on it yourself, or the names, you could write them on with a Sharpie after you get it to customize it for whoever you're gifting it to. But I could just go ahead and I'll go ahead and put like some wording up at the top so that it's cute. There we go. We're going to add some really fun details with our paint pens in a little bit to finish this up, and it's really going to make the whole thing come together, I think. Charlie's outside on the front porch. Since I got the window open, you can hear. I don't really think it's cooled it down in here much though, because I'm still pretty warm. I think it's probably my ring light making me hot. Okay, we're gonna let that dry for a moment and put a second coat on her little bows down here. Okay, let's dry this. Okay, let's finish this one up. We also need to do our stems for our flowers. So let's get a color of green. Let's see. Can't find the one I want. Let's see. This is pretty dark, but I think it will work for the tulip stems. Ooh, I don't know. That is pretty dark. Hang on. The color I think I need is over here in this cabinet. Okay, this is called Christmas green. It's just a traditional kind of like a, I don't know, just a traditional green. Traditional Christmas green. And I'm using a flat tip brush. This one's kind of small. And we're just going to add some stems to our tulips. And these are going to be in the front, these three right here. So we're going to start and do our stems coming down like this. And then we're going to add like the greenery part right here. So this part is not etched in the door hanger, but you can just kind of freehand that. It's not that difficult. But just kind of freehand the part that goes up on the tulip. And then continue it down onto the stem. So we'll do that for each one. Just paint it on there and then draw your stem coming down. And we're gonna add some grass and cute stuff like that too. So it's we're gonna kind of layer all of that. So first we'll do our stems. This one's gonna disappear behind this flower. And then this one will disappear kind of back behind that flower. And then once we get all of our grass and stuff on there, it'll look even better. Okay, let's see. You need hair at the end of her braids. It's not designed on here that way, so I'm probably not going to do that, but whenever I do all of the detailing, I think it'll look better. Is there another group where people share their painted hangers that they've created? Angie, that's a great question. Link to our free door hanger group. It's called Door Hanger Painting Tips. So if you want to go over and request to join that group, people share photos over there all the time. There's lots of people in that group, so there's tons of photos and lots of inspiration and things. So go and request to join that group if you like, and I can get you added over there. Okay, so now we're going to switch to a round tip brush. And I may even use a different color of green or something like that to kind of do like the blades of grass so that they look a little different. Let's see. That's not the color I want. Here it is. Hauser medium green. I use this one a lot on here. So we're going to use a little bit of this and a little bit of the other color of green. So we've got two shades of green here. This one and this one. And we're using a round tip brush. Wet your brush. Then get your Hauser medium green, load it up, and just start doing blades of grass. Actually, this brush is not a good one to use because it's not going to hold enough paint for me. So I'm going to get a slightly thicker, here we go, slightly thicker round tip brush because it holds more paint. You may have to just try one and test it. And we're going to just do some blades of grass going up from the bottom. Just start from the bottom and kind of flick the brush up. And then periodically, you need to dip in your other green and blend them together so that you've got two shades of grass growing. And I'm going to try not to go any higher than these bottom tulips here. So just keep adding. And I kind of want the bottom part here to be filled in, so I don't want any like blue showing down here. So I'm going to just keep adding to fill that in. And some of my brush strokes for my grass are shorter and some are longer than others. Fill that bottom part in real good. I just want that to look like all grass right down through there. So these are really short little strokes. And once you get that area covered well, then you can go back with the different colors of green and make some longer. This is grass that needs to be trimmed. Do some longer ones in between. And just look and see if you need to, if you've got too much of, whoops, I just dipped in the white. Did not mean to do that. Just look and see if you need to add any more blades of grass anywhere. That's looking pretty good though. I think I'm about done. Do like one more tall one over here. There we go. Okay, so we've got our grass. We've got our tulips. I think we are ready now to do our details with our paint pens. I have these paint pens linked in my Amazon affiliate shop. They come in 3 sizes. Whoops, that's not black, that's gold. You get black and white. So here's the largest of the white, the largest of the black. There's a middle and a small. I'm going to be using the middle size for most of what I'm doing today. And we need to really make sure a door hanger is dry. Okay, I was making sure that grass was really dry. So now I'm going to take my middle size paint pen, make sure it's working well, pump some paint down in it. And now I'm just pretty much going to go on top of the etched lines that I have in here that show me where the design is so that it looks detailed. So this is what makes her braid look a little bit more detailed. Hang on, I can't see those as well. I got to get it at an angle. It's all in the details. Now I'll add some details to the bow. There we go. And then we can go around her little nose. Whoops, I got off my line just a little bit. That's okay. This part of her nose will just be a little thicker. Go along the edge of her hat. Doing these little lines along the edges of things kind of just cleans up your lines. So if you're a little bit of a messy painter like I am, it just smooths things out a little bit more. Makes them look nice. Makes it so that you don't have to be a perfectionist to have a cute door hanger. Let's see, those look like they need to be connected. And then we'll do some on his side, on his little shoes. Go along the bottom of his little body. I didn't do that on her. Let me do her body. There we go. And there's grass kind of covering up that area. Now we can do his little beard. I try not to trace perfectly over the lines because I think it makes it look like you didn't try as hard. You know, like, you know how sometimes you can look at a door hanger and you're like, man, she tried really hard and she was not successful at getting that line nice and straight. And I don't like for it to look like I tried too hard. I like it for it to look like kind of whimsical and effortless, and I just got all over that spot there, but that's okay. And so to me it's more fun if it's not perfect because it looks like I had fun making it. I'm gonna wait about adding some details to the stems because the paint there is still quite wet. So we'll do some more details right in there in just a little bit. Okay, I think what we can do now is go back and add some white details and then do our lettering. There's also another weird little spot right here where the paint got transferred. Oh, hey, that came off. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take our white. I'm going to add some cute little details to the tops of their noses. Maybe a little bit to her braid and to her bow. And this just makes it look like light is reflecting off of things. You could add, I don't want to do any on the hat though like that, but do some right here. Maybe some in his hair, in his beard. Give him some curls. And then I think I want to use the biggest paint pen to do a fun little like design on the hat to add just a little bit of whimsy there. And now, okay, so the one lettering thing that I really liked was, I forgot who said it, I think it was Terry maybe, she said, love blooms here. And so I think I want to put that up here. Let's see. And we'll use the medium size paint pen. Let me think. I may want to draw this out with pencil or chalk first. Love blooms here. Let's do love in cursive. And then we'll do blooms here in print. And the good thing about chalk is you can always erase it if you don't like it. Okay, so now we're going to take our paint pen and just write right over the top of our chalk lines. And I'm also going to thicken up my downstrokes so that it looks a little bit more like faux calligraphy. Thicken up the downstrokes. Hang on. The only thing about writing over chalk is sometimes that chalk builds up on the end of your paint pen. So just wipe it off on a paper towel, give it a pump, and start again. And you might have to go over certain areas again to cover the chalk if it got kind of dry. Let me thicken this area a little bit more. Love. Okay. Let me see if that looks straight. Kinda does. I don't think I like the way I wrote blooms here. So we're gonna erase my chalk lines. You can also erase any excess chalk that you do after everything's dry. Oop! Did you see what I just did? I just got it into my paint pen and smudged my paint pen. So be very careful about that. I'll have to go back and touch that up with some sea breeze later. All right, I'm gonna have to stand up for this part. Okay, that way I make sure I'm nice and straight. What is going on with my paint pen? I think it's just got chalk built up on it or something. Love. And I may do some like cute lettering through here, kind of like not your typical print. Like some of it's gonna go up and down, some of it may be a little whimsical. Love blooms here. Do a capital R there. Oh, just got my hand in the paint again. That's kind of cute. Okay, it's not perfect, but we're not going for perfect. Let me fix this where I got my hand in it. Go over that one more time because it wasn't really bright enough. Anyway, there we go. All right, and right here, my paint pen smudged. So I'm going to get a brush and some of this sea breeze color. But the problem is that the sea breeze was really lightened by the white. So I've got to try to color match here. Let me add just a little bit of white to my sea breeze. And I'm just mixing it against the original spot in there. So once it looks like it matches, I'm going to say that that's close enough. And just touch up right through there where I smudged my paint pen. So once it dries, it should blend just fine. Okay, now we can take our skinnier paint pen and do some cute little details in our stem where it meets the flower up here. Only my paint pen's not working as good. I'm having all kinds of technical issues today. That may not show up on the camera as well, but I'm just kind of adding some like little lines like that. And you can do some like little lines down your stem if you want to kind of outline those just a little bit to make them stand out from the grass. Okay. All right, we're gonna call this one done. Oh, I'm not even on camera. All right, so it's got my hand lettering, which is not perfect on here, but you know, I think it's very cute. And you could add your kids' names to the little tulips if you like, or your grandkids' names, whatever you like. So if you guys enjoyed this, please hit the little button down at the bottom to share this with all your friends on Facebook and sprinkle the love. I know it looks weird backwards and upside down. I apologize, but let me see if it will let me flip it. The other day when I flipped it, my face suddenly got squished because Facebook was glitchy. Oh, what in the world? See, look, that's what happened when I flipped it just now. It turned the screen green. So Facebook's got some glitchy stuff going on. I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, I'll post a picture of it so you can see it where it's not backwards. Your stems next to the girl one looks funny. Yeah, my grass and my stems looks all kinds of funny. But you know what? We're just going to leave it be. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope y'all have a great day. If I missed any of your questions, I'll go back through the comments in a moment and try my best to answer them if I can. Y'all have a great day. Bye, y'all.